Hey guys, Dan from All Systems Golf. Happy Technical Tip Tuesday. Wouldn't make sense not to start this Tuesday off without saying a huge congratulations to Brandt Snedeker, the official newest member of the 59 Club. Quite a performance. I know there was a lot of debate about how easy is it to shoot 59 versus other errors in golf, and I don't care what error it is, what equipment you have. 59 on a par 70 golf course is 59, and I think it's really impressive that Brandt's continued to come back and play at high levels from a variety of injuries. You know, at All Systems Golf, we talk about your background, and your injury history is certainly part of that screening process. And in Brandt's case, here's a guy who suffered a very bizarre sternum injury, I believe in 2014. And in 2012, he actually had an ACL surgery and tear on his left knee, his lead knee. And I believe as well there's been some hip documented problems. So it's interesting from a physio standpoint just to look at and see, you know, here's an athlete that if you look at a modern day golf swing and you say, okay, well, how do we get this guy more speed, more power? You talk about using the ground forces, compressing, having the back leg, the trail leg, you know, flexing in the downswing, all of these things that create tremendous amounts of rotation and therefore speed. It's interesting because here's a guy who would not be able to do that, judging by his current limitations, but also, you know, you don't want to set a guy up for injury. So that's always number one, is how can you avoid injury? And in Brandt's case, he does a great job of it. So I'm going to look at two things. Very textbook setup, but the main thing I want you guys to kind of look at is this little bit of an early set in the wrist. He's kind of always had this, even when he went to Butch Harmon. And what it does is it gets the club in a more neutral or open face condition, which is fine. It just needs to match up. So now what he's going to do is, now that he's got it set, he's going to do is turn to the top, and he gets the club in a great spot here. I really like this position. And I want you to pay attention of how his trail knee goes from being flexed, and now it's going to start to straighten. So you can see that in transition, the trail knee actually starts to straighten. And that's interesting. I would definitely want to know a screening process to look at his dorsiflexion of his ankles, which is his ability of his ankles to be mobile. And that would be indicated by his shin going out this way towards his toe. And that would allow more of a bend in transition. But in this case, he actually straightens that leg. And what that's going to do is it's going to eliminate his ability to create a lot of speed. So you can certainly hit it very straight, especially at a lower speed, but you're certainly not going to hit it very far. You can see that early in this transition, he's kind of kept his shoulders fairly closed. There's not a lot of rotation going on just yet, very subtle, and he pulls the arms down into position right about here. And the reason why he does this is because the club face is neutral to slightly open. And you can see that's indicated by the club face being pointing up at this particular point. And you can continue to see that the club face is open. So certainly won't want to add rotation for this guy, number one. And number two, he's straightening the trail leg, which actually allows him to sort of straighten the right arm as well. And again, not a power move, but it does allow you to square up the club face, which he does really, really nicely. And now from here, he can just kind of turn through. You're going to see a little bit more of a flip or roll release. And you're going to see that on most players that have open club faces, because otherwise the ball is going to start way too much to the right. And then he kind of has this nice soft follow through and good balance and rhythm like a lot of the other players. So I love this swing, and I think it's a great point whenever you see a player that is maybe more unconventional of what's in style in golf swing instruction, right? So today we're talking a lot about using ground force, pushing down, squatting, you know, that's the old Sam Snead squat with the knees. And for most players that we've screened, that's not going to be a possibility. So most of you are going to look more towards this matchup of Brandt Snedeker, and he obviously makes it work well.